morning. It is day 46 and I'm sitting in my tent and it is raining, pouring. It's 7:16 and I think the rain's going to let up about 8:40, so we're going to try to just hunker down until then because it's been coming down pretty hard. But I have like puddles underneath my tent. So my tent will be very wet when I pack it up today, and it's just part of the deal, right? So I'm going to try to turn this around, see if I can show you any of the fun wetness at the bottom of my tent. I mean, I don't know if you can see the standing water or not, but it's there. And then that's all water underneath my tent. So yeah, it'll be a hot mess when I put all this away today. But I do think that the sun is going to come out later on today, and so this dries pretty fast, and hopefully that's the case. So I'll just keep you posted and we'll see what happens today. So I will see you in a little bit. Until then, I'm gonna work on putting some editing of my yesterday's video, and maybe doing a little bit of stretching and eating up some of this time. I'll talk to you soon. Here's the view this morning. Getting packed up and heading out that trail right there. Well, we started about 9:20 this morning, and you can see the clouds or fog or whatever it is. But it stormed pretty bad last night. We had some lightning and thunder, and like I showed you, I had a little puddle underneath my tent. But I slept pretty good, and I was pretty comfortable. I don't know if that's because I was sleeping on a waterbed or not, but got up this morning. I stayed up really fast and got kind of lightheaded and had to lay back down. But once I got up, I felt fine, and I had a protein bar for breakfast and some cashews. So we're gonna go about 10.6. We might hit rain one more time before we get to the shelter, but I don't think it's gonna be a lot. And then from what I can tell on the radar, we might get some sunshine, which would be very much appreciated because we can dry things out then. So, and then tomorrow we'll go into the hostel, and then we'll really be able to dry things out. So, my tent is soaking wet on the inside and the outside. In fact, it was raining so hard that it was making my tent feel like it was leaking, but it was really just the condensation spraying off the tent. And not a lot. I didn't get wet. I just felt a little sprinkle here and there. And then we got up, and it feels like it's raining sometimes, but it's just the wind blowing the rain off the leaves. So I don't have my technical problems already taken care of, but I've done a little bit of work, and hopefully when we get into the hostel I'll get some better Wi-Fi where I can sync the rest of my videos and stuff onto my iCloud, because that's the problem. It's not getting transferred over, and so it's jamming up my storage on my iPhone. So hopefully I can get that taken care of. And then I have to buy a new bear line and bear bag because I somehow either left it, or boots off, or dropped it somewhere between here and there, because I looked everywhere and did not find it. So I'm lucky that Nine Lives is with us and is willing to let me hang my food with him. So that's the update so far. But we're doing good, and glad. I'm grateful that the terrain isn't as severe today. Today should be a pretty easy day going up and down. So that's it for now. Here's the Iron Mountain shelter that we could have maybe pushed to, but if it was full and we would have gotten here late. So we made the right decision. But it's got some tent sites over here in another bonfire area. And then somebody decided to leave a tarp or a rain jacket in the garbage. Not too responsible. So my curiosity is this shovel for a cat hole? Okay, that would be a pretty big cat hole. There's a shovel over there on the side of the thing. We found this just off trail, and it is Uncle Nick Grindstaff. He was born in 1851 and died in 1923. And I'm not sure if I put this up here. It says he died alone. Something. I can't read that middle part.
Lived alone.
Lived alone and died alone. Lived alone, suffered alone, and died alone. That's what it says. Suffered, yep. I was thinking of this mantra today, and it is one that I use with my volleyball team and campers, and when they would say the word can't, which I didn't allow in my gym, but it would go, can't, never could, and won't, never will. And I was thinking about that today, and I'll tell you why in a second, but I think that when we say the word can't, that automatically stops us in our tracks. And I was in deep thought about this about a half an hour ago, and so I thought I'd share it. Hopefully I can transfer my thoughts into my words. But as soon as we say that, you know, it's like whatever that journey is just stops. And I think even if you work past that point where you're not sure if it's possible, even if you fail, you've still accomplished something. So when I get to something where I'm unsure if I'm going to succeed, I just have to push past that, because I've seen so many times where either I didn't think something was possible and I achieved it, or somebody else did, and had I told them they couldn't do it, I would have robbed them of the opportunity to experience that. And even if they fell short, whatever they did accomplish between that point where you weren't sure to the point where they finished, so much better than where you ended. So can't, never could, won't, never will is a mantra that I've used along with many, many others. So you guys might be hearing some of those throughout this trip, because I think about that kind of stuff and I like to share it. So I'm not in that mindset right now, but I did watch a YouTube video of another lady who has been out here for a while, and her YouTube channel, you should check it out, is Peaks for Pounds. And she has been hiking, but had some medical issues, had to get off the trail. And so she is not going to continue her through hike, but that is not a fail, because she is just redirecting her focus to health and wellness. And she's going to use the outdoors to help her achieve that. So I wish her all the best, and I'm rooting for her along with thousands of other people. And she is very upbeat and positive, and is taking on one of the most important journeys of her life. So that is my blurb for now. I didn't say much about the won't, never will, but there's so many times I can apply that to my life. I'm sitting on the couch and I gotta do something. If I don't get up, it's not gonna get done. I think it helps me from procrastinating, which I I'm guilty of at times. And it also helps me get outside my comfort zone, which I think is really the only time that we experience real growth. So I like to, when I get in that spot where I feel stuck, you just gotta push through it and move to the other side of it. Not only do you grow, but man, it empowers you like I don't think anything else does, to get out and do something that you might not succeed at. Hey, that's okay. You're out there giving it a shot, and that's more than a lot of people. So every day, just trying to be the best version of ourselves we can be, right? Just came across the street here at 19 East, and we have Double Spring Shelter in 3 miles. 421 is where we get picked up tomorrow. And we're on this nice little gravel walkway for right now, with this big, beautiful field in front of us. As we were walking, I noticed that little barn right there. And then I turned and I saw this, and I have seen this barn photographed in so many people's YouTube vlogs. It's pretty cool. I did not know we were gonna come to this today. It's a nice surprise. Okay, so we're supposed to close this gate, but look at the contraption. So I'm gonna show you the way this works, because I think it's really cool. I get my enjoyment in small things. Still got a beautiful walk. There are some storm clouds coming in, so we might get wet before we get to the shelter, but that'll be okay. Up and over.
Careful the barbed wire too when you do it. Make it? Yeah, make sure you don't rub your hand along the barbed wire when you do it.
We are arriving at Double Spring Shelter, and I believe this is going to be our destination for the day. Okay, we have exploded on the side of the shelter with our tents, our Tyvek, our shoes, and now I'm getting ready to, I'm doing dinner for lunch today, and I'm gonna do my Northside in my pot, which is the first time I'm doing that. What are you having, 9 Lives? Or what did you have?
I'm just having a snack. I had
You're not eating a meal?
tuna creations and
Oh,
some
gosh.
peanut butter. Now
What
I'm
do you-
searching for a candy bar.
Oh, gotcha.
A granola bar.
I see yours over there, season 1. What are you eating? Thanksgiving that she prepared herself and had mailed to her. She is an overachiever in my book. This is my final outcome. We'll see. There's a lot of it in here. We have to do it for lunch and dinner. We have Cool Breeze right here that just came in to the shelter.
Hi.
And so I wanted to introduce you guys to him and let him tell you a little bit about where he's from and some of the jewelry he's wearing and just a little bit about his journey. So,
Okay. So what do you want to know?
I want to know, where are you from?
So I live in a city called Birmingham, which is right in the middle of England, but my family are Glaswegian Hendersons.
Okay. And you are wearing a...
I am wearing a kilt. It's the Henderson tartan, so this is my family tartan. And my granddad, just before he died, got out the big book of tartan and said that if I ever did anything important in my life, I had to do it in our family tartan. And so in 2019, when I walked my first Camino, I walked in this kilt, and it's got a couple of thousand miles on it now.
Wow.
So,
Tartan is what?
so tartan is just the pattern. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
pattern, and it's unique to each family. So
Oh.
each family or clan has its own specific pattern. And this is
Gotcha.
the one that's specific to just our family,
Gotcha.
Glaswegian Hendersons.
And what made you want to come over here and do the Appalachian Trail?
So I think I first heard about the Appalachian Trail about 25 years ago, something like that, and didn't ever really think that I would get the opportunity to do it, because who gets this kind of time off work, and who gets the money to be able to spend 6 months in the wilderness?
Right.
And So I did the Camino in 2019 because it was kind of like a poor boys version of the Appalachian Trail, and it reignited the flame for long distance hiking. So I've done a couple of Caminos since then. I've done a couple of the national trails in the UK, and then as we were coming out of COVID, I spoke to my boss at work. So I work for the prison service in England, and I asked my governor if I could take a leave of absence, a career break, and he said eventually yes. And so I've been able to come out and spend these 6 months out here.
Wow. And we already talked about it, but your jewelry.
Uh-huh.
Can you explain some of that?
So it's they're essentially so this is a talk. It's Iron Age Celtic jewelry. So it's just part of my identity as someone that has Celtic ancestry and Celtic heritage, and it also kind of works in a little bit with my spirituality and my identity as a person.
Gotcha. It's a great conversation starter too.
It is, and it weighs a few ounces just on its own. So.
Right. What are there any surprises or what are some of the favorite things or things you've enjoyed the most about being out here?
I think just being able to do it has been quite surprising. You know, just being able to spend this amount of time in nature and in the natural world, and managing to survive without being eaten by a bear or a snake or anything else yet. Because as much as America's tried to kill me so far, it's not managed. So that's been quite surprising. I think some of the views and specifically kind of the opportunity to stop and look back where you've come from. Because I think that as people that are going northbound, we often miss a lot of the views that people that go south get. So to just kind of stop sometimes and turn around has been really amazing. Have you,
is there anything specific that you're looking forward to moving forward?
The end.
The end?
Like I kind of, I'm a bit worried that I might run out of time with my visa. But getting to the end is kind of the reason I'm here. I want to be a through hiker. I want to get to Katahdin.
How long do you have on your visa?
180 days.
180 days.
And I'm on day 59.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it. Your miles are going to start increasing. You're going to do it.
I think it's kind of, I've got to do about 15.
Yeah.
About 15 miles a day, which is fine.
Yeah, you can do that. What about the difference in food?
I mean, the food journey's been interesting. So some of the things that you guys eat out here, I don't eat peanut butter at all, and peanut butter and jelly is just an anathema to me. That I was having breakfast the other day, and someone had fried chicken and waffles and maple syrup, which again is just like, what are you people doing? You get KFC and waffles? What is this? But I really enjoy having a rare burger, so that's great because we're not allowed rare burgers in the UK. And I've really kind of enjoyed a lot of the breakfast foods, you know, kind of like the amount of meat and kind of hash browns and you know, kind of things like that you have sensibly with breakfast that you don't then go and shove a load of maple syrup on.
Well, you guys coming from another country have a lot more that you guys have to do to get over here to start than we do. So if you were going to give anyone some advice that wanted to come over here from another country and hike the Appalachian Trail, what would you tell them? Get your visa early. Get your visa early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just get your visa so that you know that you've got it. And then, like, I've got 20 grand in the bank, which is like at least double what I'm going to need to do, you know, the average hike takes. But if I kind of fall over and twist my ankle and I have to stay at a hotel for a week, I can't go home. So it's just about making sure that you kind of have the funds and the ability to deal with those what ifs, because it would be awful to kind of get to the last month and either run out of money or not be able to take a little lay down that you need.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Cool Breeze. I appreciate your interview.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye. It is about 7:30 and I ate my dinner for lunch, which was a North side. It was Mexican rice and pasta, and I added a package of chicken, and so it was pretty good. It was a lot. So then for dinner, I just had a little tortilla with some peanut butter and a fruit leather strip as my jelly, and just had some snacks. And we've been sitting around the picnic table chatting. I interviewed a Scotsman, and he's over there, and then a couple other gentlemen, and then Season 1 and I. And so I have just been holding my socks by the fire, trying to dry them out. Dried out my tent pretty much. It's still a little bit wet. And have my bed set up. And so we only did like 10.6, I think, today. And then we had a gentleman come in today that has already hiked the AT. I wish I would have interviewed him, but I just didn't feel like he was really into that kind of stuff. But he was wearing a couple prototype things, a pair of shoes and a jacket. And he said that he is, friends with one of the guys, well, Dan Durston, that has my backpack. My backpack has really been causing my back to bother me by my shoulders. Hold on. Excuse me. And my shoulder blades, like between the shoulder blades, are really sore right now. So I put my backpack on and showed him how I put it on, how I tighten it up and everything. And he gave me a couple suggestions. And then he also gave me some suggestions about actually hiking. And he said he started off at 10 o'clock today, and it was like 4:30, and he had hiked 18 miles, and he wasn't fatigued at all, and his heart rate didn't go up past like 60 something. And so he just said, take really small steps and just keep your pace the same. And so I'm going to try to make the adjustments in my backpack tomorrow. We only have 3.5 miles to get into get to the road, which is Road 421, where we're going to be picked up by Shep, who has he is a chaplain for the hikers, and he has a free hostel that we're going to stay at. We worked on our route as far as what we think we're going to do up through past Damascus and up through part of Virginia. So we've got some kind of a game plan. We finally have a fire burning thanks to a couple of the guys here. And let me flip this around real quick. There is the bear hang for 9 Lives and I did find my bear hang, but there's the fire. You got 9 Lives over there, and then these two guys right here are hiking together. This guy right here started the fire, and he is from Georgia, but is originally from Puerto Rico. And then the Scotsman, I think, already went back down to his tent. I'm gonna close off right now and say goodnight. I hope you guys all had an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching and coming along on my journey. I hope that you guys are enjoying it, and I appreciate all your support and all of your kind words. It really means a lot to me, and I read all of them and try to respond. If with nothing else, a thumbs up or a high five, but just really appreciate you guys coming along with me. Makes a difference. I really enjoy doing this, and I enjoy sharing my journey. And so I hope that I'm being a little bit redundant here, but the bottom line is thank you. I really appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Peace out.